Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Did you like that picture, Dan?
What picture? I had my eyes closed.
This one.
Missed again. No. Okay.
Yeah, that's like the bug bladder beast or troll. If it can't see you, it thinks you can't see it, or the other way around.
You know, that actually works with snakes.
The only thing I know that works with snakes is a 16 gauge at close range.
You walk up to them, they get all scared, they want to, kill you to protect themselves. All right. Throw a towel on them. They're fine.
What kind of snake?
Any snake. Just throw a towel over it. And it's like, oh, I'm hidden. They can't see me.
Is this military intelligence being demonstrated?
No, I used to have a python.
Oh.
And I
Please tell me you didn't name it Monty.
Snake Plissken.
Oh, okay. That works.
You should know me better than that. But
I don't trust anybody anymore.
To be honest, Monty was taken.
Oh,
Do you know
No,
how
I
many
just saved
idiots name their pythons Monty? I mean,
Mhm.
that's just ridiculous.
Dozens.
I just saved Dan and Joe Bachman eardrum.
And
Oh,
Curie,
okay.
Had a
Curie, my
sneeze,
python was
had
a
a
Burmese
sneezing
python.
fit. Your python did what?
He was a Burmese python. Curie was asking what version of Python.
Oh, okay.
It's
I,
it's
I
a
was I
it's a
was
programmer joke, but I wasn't following.
Yes. I got the programmer joke, even though
Mhm.
technically I'm not one.
uh, I almost I almost had to cut John off there for a second.
Why?
Not the green room. Not the green room.
Mm.
That's your mind there, gutter snipe.
Uh,
I think that puts that one to bed.
It would be good. That would be a good name. It's just hard to say. Come here, C++. They don't answer. Of course, technically, they don't have ears either.
That's true. You have to send it to them in Morse code, tapping your foot on
They
the floor.
actually have an inner ear called a Jacobson's organ, and it's attached to their jaw. That's how they hear. They lay their jaw on the ground. They can feel the vibrations.
Oh, I thought that was so when they bite you,
No.
they could hear you stomping them off of your foot.
It's sort of like an ear, but it's specifically designed for feeling vibrations to the ground.
Well, due to the evolution of the bones in the inner ear, I do believe part of it was directly connected to a jawbone at one time, but
Yes. That's why your
way
ears are
back
right
in
here on top of your
prehistory.
jawbone. But snakes, or especially pythons, somewhere in their past history, something happened. They were lizards. They
Yeah,
had four
yeah.
legs. And something happened evolutionary, probably the meteor killing all the dinosaurs or something like that. But they decided to go underground. They went back to being like worms. And they de-evolved most of their legs. But pythons, interestingly, have these little things right back by their hip bone called spurs. It's like this one little claw that hangs out on either side of their pelvis. And it's a vestigial leg, and the only thing they use it now for is mating.
There was something similar with evolution of whales. Actually, they were land animals before, somewhat akin to a bear, I do believe,
Yes.
and then went totally aquatic, and eventually stopped having legs.
The killer whale being the epitome of the whale bear hybrid type thing. Can you imagine those damn things with legs? If you play D&D, you don't have to imagine it. It's in the monster manual.
Is D&D a safe subject to talk about these days?
Yes. Actually, it's, D&D was way down here for a while. Well, thanks to Wizards of the Coast and their lawyers, it's way up here now.
Now here's the thing I want to ask. They are making any modifications to the game illegal, right?
Basically, what they wanted to do was they wanted to make it so that if you did something that used the D&D system, which anybody that's played D&Ds know, you probably have 3 or 4 books of graph paper just for making shit for D&D. Mm. What they wanted to do is they wanted to basically, if you made something for D&D and published it and it made money, they wanted you to declare it to them, tell them how much you made, and then they would tell you how much you owed them. Which is the first time since 1974 or 78, whatever it was, that they have done this. Mm-hmm. And basically, everybody on the planet that had anything to do with Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, or the original D&D basically said. And here's what's funny: they have this D&D online thing. It's a bunch of online resources that you can go to and play D&D stuff like that. You have to subscribe to it. Not too bad, but so many people went in and canceled their subscription that they went and sabotaged their own website to keep people from dropping off their subscription service. That's how bad this was.
Yeah.
And they actually came out this week with a wholehearted apology saying, please give us a chance. We will do better.
Too late.
This is not what D&D is about. Please give us a chance. We will do better. We promise.
Too late.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, you've done, yeah.
Yep, but the damage has been done.
You can only shit in the punch bowl so much before people quit drinking it.
Mhm.
Because even the apps that I made, technically, if I actually made money off of them, I would have to report that to them because they're D&D character and dice rollers.
You know, I cannot begin to tell you how many character generation programs for D&D there are on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You could probably type it in right now and find over 1,000 like that. You know.
Now, let me ask you this. Who's going to stop people from creating their characters and playing them in their own home?
Nobody. But that's not the point. That's not what if you're making money, if you're publishing something and people are paying to get it, they wanted your money. That's basically what it was.
Yep, and there's a couple of map-making programs I know of that probably have just about as many lawyers as the D&D group has.
And then you had the encounter generators that you'd say you punch the button. You would program in what characters were in your group, and it would generate an encounter for them just right there off the bat.
So if one of us was to say roll for initiative, we'd owe them $5.
Exactly. And then the other thing, it's something that came out a while back, and I can't tell you. I'm not. I had the great idea when it first came out, but I never kept up with it or anything, so I can't tell you how. Is keeping everything on your smartphone, and then linking the smartphones. So instead of paper character sheets or plastic dice or anything like that, it's all electronic. You sit at the table, everything's on your phone.
That is actually kind of what I wanted to do with mine at some point. I'm not that far along in the knowledge of programming to do that.
And well, the other thing, you got all the smart TVs now. The things like that. There are companies that make gaming tables, map tables, and the table's basically one big video screen covered in glass. And then it prints up your dungeon map and all sorts of stuff like that. You got all these people that make they make dioramas that are modular, and you can build your dungeon. Taylor Hoke,
and Fritz, and
if you've ever seen them at LibertyCon, Taylor DMs an excellent D&D game for kids. I just wish you'd come up with something better than a bath towel to cover up the parts of the dungeon they haven't explored yet. But it's a brilliant idea. It just doesn't look that. She's got this beautiful, painted dungeon tiles and all sorts of stuff like that. And the parts that the adventurers have not explored yet is covered in bath towels.
Hey, that's convention portable. It keeps them from having to tote around a sheet of plywood with hinges.
I will donate
so that individual rooms can be unfolded.
I will donate to the Black Silk Cloth fund so that she can actually go out to Walmart or something, buy some black nylon cloth to cover the whole thing up. So
hey, you can get tablecloths that look really nice.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I'm in love with these pandas. Especially her.
Don't let your
She's
wife
gorgeous.
find out.
Okay, I think I saw her at Chatico. Joe knows who I'm talking about.
Do what?
Not the green room. Not the green room. Not the green room.
I wasn't
Joe
paying,
wasn't paying
I wasn't-
attention at all. That's what's
I
so
wa-
funny about that joke.
I was working on something.
Oh, where are you now?
Yeah.
No, he's just heavily medicated and lying.
Oh. So,
Unfortunately, the heavy medication I'm on works like
the career
amphetamines. So I'm wired and tired at the same time.
What I'm trying to get is being very aggy.
Oh, I know that language.
I got in a conversation we were talking about, you know, Joe Biden in his classified documents and said, I wonder why people aren't asking to impeach him, you know, the way that they were wanting to throw, you know, Trump into prison. And this one lady at the convention who is notoriously Democratic says, because he declared all of the, you know, and told them to come get him. So, of course, 1 week later, what's the news today? Justice Department is going through Joe Biden's home and they found more documents. So apparently he didn't declare all of them. So, enough politics.
Oh, okay, okay. This is a question for Joe Dog.
Which one?
What? Hold on. Let me get back over here to you.
Well, Halloween's in the middle of the week, so
Well, you know, that's a good question then. Which weekend?
the one
The
before,
October one or the
obviously.
November one?
27, 28, 29.
So the October one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And I need to go ahead and file for the vacation time for that, so no smart aleck can take it out from under me. Somebody please remind me to message Mark, is it, for LibertyCon, and say roll over our memberships because we won't be able to be there. This Matt, yes, thank you. I'm so bad with names, and I've also got to message bugger. If I hadn't been trying to say it, I would know it. Programming director to take me off of any panels he may have already put me on.
Rich.
Yes, Tish's husband.
Yeah.
Yes, Rich. Because basically, I'm getting better. I'm not in as much pain as I was driving back from HallowCon this year, but I still do not know that I can manage a 3-hour drive without having to take the walker so that I can get around the first 2 days of the convention.
Yeah.
And
now, about the D&D, what is it when you roll for your supplies or whatever?
I don't know.
Or you get rewards for, supply
treasure
rewards?
tables? I mean, well, it depends on which. In the original D&D, you had treasure tables, and the DM handled that. But they do have charts for it.
Yeah. How would you like to roll or do whatever, but you sucked at it so bad that this was your reward?
I know people that would fight over that.
I don't. I don't know anybody that would fight over this or that crap or that crap.
Caffeine-free diet Mountain Dew? Yeah, I know folks that they love that. That's the only Mountain Dew they'll drink.
What's the point? It's like non-flammable gasoline. It's for people that really enjoy the gasoline smell but don't want to run a car.
Or decaffeinated coffee. Yes, I understand, but
non-alcoholic beer.
I actually had characters in stories that while they were on the job, that was what they allowed themselves, as all of the taste and none of the pleasure.
Yes. Non-alcoholic beer sucks except O'Doul's Amber. That's actually pretty tasty. So,
I'll keep that in mind if I ever have to give up living.
There was a running joke that we had at one of the forward operating bases I operated out of, that every time I would go out in the vehicle and I was up in the gunner's seat running the 50 caliber machine gun, I would grab a couple cans of O'Doul's Amber, and while we were waiting to deploy, I would sit up there and drink beer, sort of. And
near beer.
I wasn't even that really. But so somebody said, that stuff's going to dehydrate you. I said, no, there's not really any alcohol in it, and it's basically water and carbs, which is pretty much what's in Gatorade. So it's
Yeah, really.
hydrating.
It's just not lime flavored.
But to answer Joe Dog's question, talk to Nick Talker about how I roll dice for D&D. I have gone through entire dungeon battles where I did not roll above a 5, and the only player I managed to hit was myself.
Dice are so old school.
Don't you know how to load some dice?
So I've been told I have a curse with dice, and Talker will verify that. Actually, I'm surprised you don't hear my wife chiming in. I'm surprised I don't hear her chiming in.
Excuse me.
I have a blowtorch. I grab one dice out of a set, burn it to death in front of all the other dice, and tell them, if you ever roll low, that's what you get.
Yeah, we had one entire battle where I didn't hit a single thing. Get out. We're back outside. Nick looks at me and goes, okay, it's your turn. What do you want to do? I said, well, apparently I need to recalibrate my staff. It's not able to hit a darn thing. I'm going to fire at that tree over there. Roll, natural 20. First thing above a 5, I rolled the entire night. He goes, okay, tree explodes. There's a chest inside of it. Open it up. So I open it. It's a blaster. It was okay. Roll to see what type of blaster. I rolled a natural 1. Therefore, I ended up with a Stormtrooper blaster with a -5 to hit.
And just for those of you who don't know, Dungeons and Dragons had two, or TSR, the people that made Dungeons and Dragons had 2 other games called Gamma World and what was the Western one? Anyway, there was an old cowboy. There was a cowboy version of Dungeons.
Yeah.
And they used similar systems, so you could actually combine them so that Gamma World was the post-nuclear apocalyptic thing with ray guns and blasters and shields and all sorts of like that. And then you could do the cowboy stuff where you had 6-shooters and 30-30s, buffalo guns, fun stuff like that. And you could actually combine them all into one big adventure. And yes, we have. I had a druid that flew around in a Superman suit.
One time I played, the guy we were playing with had a character that was 15 years old.
Which makes perfect sense.
I killed it.
You bastard. Because technically, if you look at the Middle Ages and stuff like that, a first level character should be about 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
No, he'd been playing this character for 15 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Needless to say, I wasn't allowed to play with them anymore.
Yep. I had some folks that requested me to DM for them because they had a bunch of godlike characters that nobody else would let them use. So I took a positive delight in writing them into corners at every turn of the way. And they wound up severely depowered by middle of the game. But by the end, they had all survived, and I gave them some heavily tailored goodies for their character, including the instigator of me being the DM. She wanted something that acted like a Tron disc, but it wasn't a Frisbee. So
What do you mean 18 plus, Kerry? Just because I sucked at the game so bad, I killed off a character that's been around for 15 years.
Way to go, Boomer.
That's okay, Donna. Dawn has bowed out, and Donna Carlene is bowing out. So it's no big deal. And Rich just messaged to say he's not going to be here tonight either. So I may be doing Last Man Standing as a solo act for 5 minutes, but basically run the beginning credits, say good night, folks. Nothing to see here, and run the closing credits.
That's all, folks. I double dog dare you. Start
Hey.
your show, run it for 5 seconds, and in that 5 seconds, you go, that's all, folks.
No, I'd be too tempted to go, son of a bit, and finish that one.
You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
Have a good night, Carl.
You're gonna get Joe retroactively demonetized when he ever gets monetized.
Yeah, like they're ever going to pay us for this crap. Come on.
Yeah, well, can't knock 30 cents a month.
No
It's
offense.
still better than what you find searching through the couch cushions. So
When something replaces Facebook and Facebook is spinning down the drain, or whatever they call it now, Meta, whatever. When it's spinning down the drain and they beg me, they start sending me checks trying to get me to stay on the internet. I don't think I'd do it then either.
oh.
Sorry.
Depending on the size of the check,
That
I'd make the most minimal effort to keep said check coming in.
I can't see Zuckerberg paying
do you
anybody
hear that
more
whistling
than a
sound?
couple of
That's Mark
dollars.
Zuckerberg falling from his parapet or whatever.
There's Chris.
We do have a Christopher.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Chris.
Sorry about that, Joe Dog.
Sorry, my laptop was being a
Don't
pain.
know what came over me.
What do you mean? I'm glad you brought him in.
Who, me?
Yeah, because I was busy working on something.
Hey,
I'm always working in the background to improve the show.
okay, I believe working in the background.
I don't. In the background, yes. Working, no.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
You're going to have to send me that link.
Right?
I'm curious as to how long it actually took him to find that.
About 30 seconds.
Well, we were talking about it 3 minutes ago. I mean, come on.
Well, you gotta find it, then save it, then upload it to StreamYard.
Well, it's supposed to be in the brand stuff. So
Is that the Emperor's throne room from Return of the Jedi in the background, John?
Maybe.
Right now, it's John's throne room.
It's my throne room now.
Well,
Yes.
you know,
With the flush handle.
it-
right here.
Last
it's
Man
either
Standing.
inspired
Yep,
or
I was waiting for that one. John.
it was either inspired by it or
Bum, 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 bum.
Not the green room. Not the green room.
And
not the
Dan?
green room. Yes, dear.
It's now on your brand.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was unexpected.
That's why everything turned blue. Okay.
So,
Well, it wasn't because we expected you to vote Democrat this minute, but
since John's showing Star Wars, I'll use the Force to make Nick's head explode and change my background to a gradient.
Oh, you evil person, you! I love you.
Is
I
Nick
don't know what I
watching?
missed, but I hope it was worth it.
Oh, um, one of these days that's going to have to be explained to you, Lucy. Um, ah, oh, Kiri, you don't know how much of an advantage that would give me. We start doing this over IRC.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I have been using MIRC for well since uh 1995.
What was that Israeli one that was real popular?
Don't know.
Oh, it was the big thing back in the day. I had a password and account for it, so that's
There are lots of different variations of the same basic. Um, well, I hate to call it tech because it's a program. It's not tech. It's not equipment. It's a program. But there are lots of variations of it that work equally well.
Hmm.
It's just I found that MIRC was the one that had the most capability to be exploited for my own pleasure. Of course, there was a lot of things that everybody concerned had to have a stash of sound files and video files and whatnot in a directory that they linked to the program for some of those commands to actually be more than just random text on a screen. And if somebody was not using that particular app, it would still be just random text on a screen. But it was fun. It was fun. And now, Kerry, you got to explain to me what a BNC is.
A bouncer.
A bouncer what?
I remember that term from those days, and I can't think of.
Would
I think
would
it's
that
a room
would that be a bot?
A room mod.
A room? Oh! A program that is a room mod. No, we concentrated on having one that was a bartender
Hmm.
and a short order cook.
BNC, short for Bounce to Network Connection.
So it's
Okay.
probably a mod bot.
Uh,
Or a
Mm.
bot mod or
Well, what we needed the most back in the day was to be able to spot and block trolls that used an IP randomizer.
hmm
Because you would kick these folks out for being complete donkeys, and they'd come back 5 minutes later with a brand new ISP that was faked
hmm
that you didn't know about, so you had to kick them out all over again. And the only way to get rid of them was to basically
track them back to their house and send somebody over with a suppressed pistol.
no, you had to block
No, it
the
works.
entire.
Trust me.
I know that would work, yes, but it's a little bit more extreme that I'm prepared to go. No, you'd have to block their entire domain.
hmm
So anybody else that was using the same server would not be able to
Block
get
the
in.
city of Charleston.
I don't know how to do that. I could block if I knew the domain server, I could block that. To narrowing it down to a specific city, beyond my ability.
well, we had I mean, people use it here on YouTube. That randomizer.
Oh yeah,
That's how
yeah.
they keep. That's our Russian bot that keeps showing up.
You
Yeah.
had to say it. Here they come.
No, that's Kiri.
No, they're. all the Russian bots turn around and they're now after Putin. We don't have to worry about them.
I
Knock on
wish.
wood.
I'd love to see all the Russian bots that are sending us adverts for.
Porn sites.
You know,
Well, I was going to say interesting photographs that are actually malware. Just go ahead and send him the interesting websites that are actually malware, and
it'd be
keep
just our
his
luck.
desktop computer completely clogged.
It'd be just our luck that the Russian bot that keeps trying to sell us pictures of hot women is actually a hot woman.
That's like the there was
Ethiopian print.
There was a Facebook post about this huge photograph of enormous stacks of cash, and it was some Ethiopian prince that had passed away, and or Nigerian prince that had passed away, and he had never been able to give away any of this money to
Trying to give away this
anybody.
money for decades, and nobody wanted it.
Yeah,
internet
they don't
sucks.
trust me. Yeah, well,
I had a friend
actually deliver.
have a friend that constantly is like, yes, I
Curie-
do believe in the Nigerian prince, and I do believe he intends on giving me that money. Of course, she's being
Curie's
facetious.
mentioning this. I'm going to throw this up real quick. That thing. Curie, you mentioned that. It's strange that a lot of my advertisements on Facebook have been for Ukrainian women.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Um,
I also internet ordered some car parts to fix something that broke on Lindsay's car, and now that's the first thing that I see as a commercial on YouTube.
car parts.
From this particular company. Yeah. So I'm
don't
going.
worry, these the
Yeah.
microphones and everything on devices, they're
Rock
listening whether
Auto.
you want them
All
to
the
or
parts
not.
you'll ever need. Rock Auto. Okay.
Damn Rock Auto. They're shitty.
Yes.
I will tell you, most of the best parts I get are from that Jungle website or Jungle River website.
Mm-hmm.
My brother does the Craigslist thing for car parts, and he says you'd be surprised what you could find on Craigslist.
No, you can find anything on
find,
Craigslist, and
like,
some of them actually exist.
He says you can find $2,000 Mercedes car parts for like $50.
What happened with Lindsay's car was the power windows on the driver's door and the front passenger door have both stopped working, the power windows. So I looked all this stuff up and found a company that was selling both of them at a reasonable price as a kit. So I went ahead and ordered it, and it actually was delivered, and I've got the parts. Now, Lindsay doesn't need the car until Monday morning, which gives me all day of tomorrow to put at least the driver door in, because I've got the passenger door. It went out first. I've got it propped up with a
2x4.
No, it's a 2x2, but it's inside the door. I will have to take the door apart just like I would have to fix the driver door. But right now, there is a towel and a big black trash bag covering the driver's side window. And she says, well, I was just going to take that off and drive on over to the school and put it back. And I'm going, honey, I do not want you driving around with no window in the driver door in January.
Yeah.
Even if you
already have a very bad cold. No, I will put on my insulated coveralls, and if I have to, some other gear, and get out there and do it tomorrow, no matter what the weather is. If I have to stretch a tarp over the top of the car to keep the rain off of me while I'm doing it.
Yep.
And the parts just arrived Thursday. So I was working all day Friday, got home, it was raining. Um, Today it was stupid cold, and I have some kind of cold myself. So rather than turn a wrench for 30 seconds and grab a Kleenex and sneeze, I decided to wait for tomorrow, but it's got to be done. Um, Thankfully, I am aware of the process of how to take the door apart so I can get to the parts. I will have to.
Yes.
I intend to take my cell phone out there and take a picture of the wiring connections before I take them loose, just for reference, and make sure I get everything put back in the right place, and then charge it up because the car has not been driven since last Monday, and that means the battery is dead as a doornail because there is designed into the alternator a parasitic drain on the battery. If you don't drive the car every other day at the very least, you wind up having to jump it off or charge it up. Um,
Dan, plan on grabbing the tarp.
no problem. I fortunately I keep my feathers
Yeah, it's like
numbered
a
for just this emergency.
75+% chance.
No
Uh,
problem.
I'm looking. I'm looking at the weather.
Hey, Sarah, you're gonna have to grant.
I'm looking at the weather in
You're gonna
Athens.
have to grant StreamYard permission to use your Facebook.
Uh, 7 a.m. is 89% chance of rain. 8 a.m. is 94. 9 a.m. is 85. 10 is 79.
And what time does Last Man Standing normally end on a Saturday night?
Yeah, well, it's
4 in the morning, or is this a trick question?
Uh, well, 3 in the morning is the scheduled time, but
well, pretty much it's
all day long,
all day long. 60% is the lowest chance.
no problem. I've got a 12 by 15 tarp I can stretch over the top of the car and hook it up to my van next to it and put some tent poles around the other side to hold it up. And
Um, for motorcycles, they have this thing you can install on a motorcycle, and it's got a little plug in it, and you basically take a cord, plug it into this thing, and then plug it in the wall, and it keeps the battery charged.
A battery tender.
Yes, battery.
uh-huh.
I think they make them for cars too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, now all the bulldozers I've ever worked with, and this is kind of interesting, they had a little solar panel up on top of the cab, and it wasn't a big solar panel, but it was just enough to put a
About
trickle
12
charge
watts.
into the battery,
hmm
and keep the
Un-
battery from draining.
Unfortunately, the battery for Lindsay's car is underneath the back seat.
So,
Running the wires would be, unless I set up the little solar cell in the rear windshield,
there you
which would be completely contrary to the largest amount of sunlight that it would get. It would be a nightmare to run wires. And she would not like it because it would be ugly. Now, there are other solutions that I found to this problem, which would also be ugly. So she doesn't want me to do it. But I could actually get a replacement for the bit of wiring harness that plugs into the alternator and put a switch on the one part of the voltage regulator inside the alternator that stays open all the time and causes the parasitic drain. and just
Oh,
a heavy
look,
switch on the dash that you turn it off when you park the car. Battery does not drain. Turn it back on, it'll start. Um, but once again, it would not be pretty. So, my wife does not like clunky stuff in her automobile. Um, she would not be satisfied with the above dash backup camera monitor and stuff like that, because I was gonna give her a backup monitor, and I was actually gonna make it, since it's a two-channel system. I was gonna give her one on the license plate in the back and one on the space for a license plate in the front, so she could actually switch between the two and see how close she got to the curb in a parking place, and not actually scrape the bottom of her bumper over a curb in a parking lot. But that would require drilling a hole in the upper part of the dash and mounting a big ugly, well, not big, but about a Kindle size monitor on the dash as well. So that idea got vetoed, even though it's the same sort of stuff that I have on my van. Only I can't get the front camera to work right now. And the back one needs to be replaced because it's old enough to be fading out. But that's no big deal. I just have to take the entire inside of the tailgate apart to plug in one RCA jack. Oh, first world problems.
Oh yeah. Boy, Sam's has lost their damn mind.
What now?
You can buy one 6-foot folding table, the black folding table, for $59.98, or you could buy 4 for $379.
Okay, do the math.
$94 a piece on the package deal.
And it was 50 something for just one?
It was 60 for just one.
I think it would be worthwhile to make 4 separate trips, or just go to Walmart where the $35.
Well, the problem is the Walmarts fold in half, and those are not good for dealer's room.
Really? Why not?
Have you seen all the shit people buy on them damn tables? They'll break it in half.
Well, in that case, you need a sheet of 3/4-inch plywood and a couple of sawhorses, and you're good to go.
Don't tempt me. That was considered.
Hey, you want cheap and cheerful. That's what you get.
Oh,
If we built a mold, we could just go buy a couple bags of concrete and some rebar, and make concrete tables and just leave them there.
Excuse me, John. Do you know how heavy concrete is?
Yes.
It's not that bad. I work with it all the time.
2 square feet's about 80 pounds.
And how much does one of those plastic tables weigh?
I ain't moving them. I don't care.
hey, I can carry a plastic table. I can't carry the wooden table.
You can't carry a concrete table either. Ah.
What'd you say, Chris?
I said, you don't need to be carrying shit with your back.
Well,
This is true.
They're a little more movable.
We were actually looking at getting a set of concrete cornhole boards for the park.
Oh, for the park, yeah.
And then we figured out that we have no way of moving them into place because they're about 650 pounds a piece.
Rollers.
Yeah.
No.
We don't have-
You just buy like little pieces of wood, 6 foot.
No,
however
no, no,
wide
no.
you need,
Not
and do the
wood, not
roller
wood.
thing.
What the company that delivered one of my barns, one of the prefabricated sheds, they used 6-inch PVC pipe, about 3 pieces, and basically they just rolled it off the truck with the winch, let it on the PVC pipe, and pulled it like you were pulling a little red wagon, and kept whenever one piece of PVC pipe came out from under it, they'd pick it up and stick it under the front, and
I did that
then
with. I moved a 400-pound hot tub with just pieces of a broomstick. Just and rolled it across the broomstick. It worked just fine.
Yeah, I really don't want to try and have to roll these uphill.
We'll start at the top of the hill. It's easier.
I do believe that's what they make forklifts with great big old tires for.
If
And
only
you
our
ought to be
town
able to
had
get
that.
hold of those.
Get one of those. It's the forklift, but you sit in and drive it, and the boom's out the side and can lift 60
Oh.
feet in the air.
Okay, not what I was originally thinking. I was thinking a little skidster with the fork attachments, but
Hey, you mean? Okay. At the factory, we call those walkie riders, because you basically stand up and move stuff around.
No, I don't think that's what Joe's talking about. Actually,
No, I'm talking about the one that'll pick up
it's
a
big.
damn car.
It's a big sumbitch. It's like they use them to move ammo pallets.
Well, he works in road construction. I guess he knows how to get hold of a crane.
Let me see.
that's actually not as easy as what you think.
Guy
Most
track.
of the contractors don't have those just sitting around.
Do you have a sign shop? You're not doing the freeway stuff anymore, are you?
So I don't work directly for the state. I work for one of their consultants, but it's the same
Oh.
job that I did for the state.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that explains several things.
I was going to say, get the sign shop. They got a crane on the truck.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh.
there's contractors that use those to lift new sheets of roofing up to the top of the building at
It's
work.
called
Yeah.
a sky track.
Yeah, it's basically a long neck forklift.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That way you could set it from 50 feet away.
Well, the town council at first their fear was, well, what if someone steals them? I looked right at the council. I said, if somebody comes into the park, loads those onto a back of a truck, and takes them home, they've earned it.
Really, if you can figure out how to steal 600 pounds of concrete, you got my respect right then.
Well, there's two of them, so there's 1,200 pounds of concrete.
Well, you don't have to take them both in the same trip. If you're bold enough to get one, you're bold enough to come back for the other one.
Well, bonus points if you did it by yourself.
And really, if you can get those in a pickup truck and take them and unload them wherever it is you want them, you're going to have a lifetime contract to advertise that pickup truck from now on.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to rent a dump truck.
I used to drive one for Daddy. 18
Oh,
foot bed.
Have y'all seen the video where this Chevy, square body Chevy 4-wheel drive hooks up to a tractor trailer and pulls it up a hill, pulls it out of traffic and up a hill?
Nope.
I said, there's your Chevy commercial right there.
Uh-huh. You would be surprised at how powerful pickup trucks can be. Not all of them, but some of them are extremely well built, and the engines are. If they weren't in a pickup truck, they'd be in a drag racer.
I'm not going to say that the truck didn't grunt when it took off. Of course, the thing is, when you're towing something like that, first you got to get it moving.
Mm-hmm. And then the hard part's getting it to stop.
Just pray to the good Lord above. The guy in the back remembers he's the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we did get the combine stuck one time in a wet spot in a field. And Dad goes, okay, go home, get the logging chain, come back. We'll hook it up to the dump truck. Pull the combine with 3 tons of wheat on it out of a mud hole about 2 feet deep with a 18-foot bed dump truck. Now, granted, the dump truck was on good dry ground. Didn't have to go in the mud to get it because it was a long logging chain. But seriously, I did not think that the dump truck had that much spare horsepower. But evidently, you get something like that, and it's only 300 horsepower. But the gear ratio for driving one of the, I mean, you're not going to get that to be a race car ever because the transmission's not geared that way. It's geared for hauling weight. And this thing has, we loaded it up with, there was one place where we went and dropped off soybeans, and the people that own the place go, I don't know if we should report you for being overweight or what, but you had 7 tons on that. And I'm going, really? I was doing 65 miles an hour on the way here, so.
That reminds me of at work. I was one of the first truck drivers to carry a chain. I had like a 40-foot chain.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I bought the chain. I paid for the chain. When I left the city, the chain came home with me. It's out in my building. But on North Market Street, which is, Market Street's the main street, but once you cross the river, it's into sort of like a little residential area. On the radio, they were calling, say, anybody got a chain or anything? We're here, here, we got something we have to pull out of a storm drain. I was a block away. I didn't say anything to the boss. I said, I'll be right back. Just drove over there. They said, what are you here for? And I said, hold on a minute. Went out, unwrapped the chain from the front bumper. I said, what do you need it for? They went, oh, there was a tractor trailer tire somehow in the storm drain. We don't.
I have questions, and I assume you don't have answers.
Neither did they.
Just the tire.
Just the tire.
Somebody drove a 17-wheeler home.
Don't know where it came from, how it got there. And they said, we're trying to pull this out, but, we can't get it. I said, wrap it twice around the chain, around the tire, hook the chain, give me the other end. They said, what are you going to do? Just give me the other end and you do your side. I put it on through the pendle hook, close the pendle hook, tightened the chain up as much as I could, hooked it. I said, wave at me when it comes out. I just put her in granny low and eased off the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Truck rolled forward. I felt it go and start bucking. Eased down on the gas, and I heard and them waving. Actually, they were waving and ducking, because it was full of damn water.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw it roll out into the lane of traffic. He said it looked like I was like the damn manhole gave birth.
Fluid and all.
Oh Lord.
Total time 3 minutes. I was
Mhm.
back on the job site.
There are things that I have done that I don't want to admit to, and they were not impossible. They were very possible, but they were highly unlikely. Um, and when I got through with this one particular test that came to mind, I was amazed the next day when my parents did not say anything to me about the tractor being missing for a couple of hours in the middle of the night and my car being covered in mud the next morning when they woke up. And the total damage to my car was some bent trim. But took me a little while to figure out what I was going to do, and I didn't have a tractor key. Thankfully, for that model tractor, all I needed was already in the toolbox, and it was the little adjustment tool for a set of points for a Chevrolet. Turns out it would fit in the ignition, and it would actually turn the switch.
Oh,
It didn't.
I miss those little tools.
Oh man, I had a collection of those things I kept in the toolbox. I kept them in several toolboxes, just whatever was handy. If you needed to crank up that model of tractor or that brand of tractor in the 70s, all you needed was something with a little wedge on the end of it that would fit right in the slot, and it didn't matter that it didn't have the blades that the key had. Just be very careful. Don't round anything off. It would start up the tractor, and away we go. And that night came in handy, but I was, like I said, I was very astounded that I did not get called on the carpet for removing the tractor at 11 a.m. and bringing it back at 1 a.m. or 11 p.m. and bringing it back at 1 a.m. and then walking back and getting the car.
No, I used to my old super sport Chevelle. Hell, where did Dan go? We lost Dan.
Don't know.
He's got to go down the hall. Okay.
Probably.
Now, the old Chevelle, I carried with me at all times that little adjuster tool for the points, a flat bladed screwdriver, vacuum gauge, a jack, and racing slicks. I could tune that old 383 stroker Chevy to, I mean, I could dial it in perfectly with a vacuum gauge. And then I could have the tires and wheels swapped out in minutes. One of my favorite nights was I was taking the drama teacher from Hickson, from my high school, he wanted to go for a ride in the car. So we all met at somebody's house, loaded him into the back seat, had my partner sitting shotgun, and two other big guys in the back seat. Drama teacher, little guy, he's wedged in between them. Got in a race with the damn Porsche. At the time, the PCV valve connector was loose on the carburetor and would fall out every now and then. And so we take off, and John don't know where we're talking about, from the CB Robinson Bridge to Eli Road, then from Eli Road to Crystal to Northgate, and then the car just went to bucking and jumping and skipping. Of course, the Porsche was behind me the whole time, and me and my partner had a routine. When it started acting up, he would plug in the spotlight, come out his side, I'd yank the hood open and try to fix what it is. As I reached for the PCV valve, it completely fell out and died. The Porsche whips in behind me. He goes, "What the hell you got in that damn thing?" My friend looks up and he goes, "Hey, Joe, you're dragging two this time." Two plug wires had come off the rotor cap. And he goes, "Why are you running around like that?" And I looked at him and said, "To give you a damn chance."
Yeah, really.
Needless to say, he climbed back in his car and drove off.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to bow out early tonight, so y'all have a great rest of the evening. And probably see you next Thursday.
All right. Well, I hate to see
Have
you
a good one, Joe.
You have a good one.
You too.
Good night. Well, shoot. John,
Yes.
you got a spoiler on the back of your head. Do you see it, Dan?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, just that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but when you turn sideways, it looks like you got a spoiler on your head. That's for aerodynamics. Now, is that store-bought burrito, microwave burrito, or is that something you whipped up?
I did fajitas Friday night, Thursday night. So I went down and whipped one together real quick. I haven't eaten all day.
Oh, poor Joe. You okay?
I am now.
That's good.
Oh, I choked on my own spit.
You'd be amazed
That's
at
never fun.
how often that happens to everybody.
Yeah, I went a long time between breakfast and when I finally ate. I decided to go to Zaxby's since I found out their Asian sensation salad was back.
Yeah.
I actually got up before noon today, and Lindsay had prepared me scrambled eggs, bacon, and pancake.
Nice.
Hey, and a pot of coffee in the French press. So this was some of the good coffee. She had to grind the coffee beans.
Oh, so it's fresh fresh
Oh.
released.
Oh Lord, yes. And it was it was um, it was a coffee that I ordered on the recommendation of Ted Davies, and
Oh, the what's the name of that company? Dadgummit.
Indian River Roasting Company, I
Yeah,
do believe.
Indian River. Yeah.
Yep, very good coffee. Very good coffee.
Is that the same one that sells oranges?
No.
Wouldn't think so. No. I'm quite fond of that coffee. It's a little by mail order. It's a little the shipping is kind of
A little steep.
yeah. But if I was ordering in bulk, it would be much less. But because I was going, well, I don't know how good this is, and I just got a couple of pounds, and right now we have like this much in a little Tupperware left, and I'm going, either I'm going to have to reorder or I'm
Do
going to have to
without.
do without. This is some good stuff. I'm going. This is a tough decision to make, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to pay the shipping or go ahead and get the unground beans from the grocery store, which
Well,
won't be as good.
what I have learned, listening to some things and reading some stuff, darker roast coffee is not the best coffee to give you the caffeine kick.
No, because cooking the coffee burns off the caffeine.
Yeah, burns
Lighter,
off.
lighter roast has more caffeine in it.
Yeah, lighter roast will kick you.
Well, with me, it's more the flavor. Um, I'm not because I drink a lot of coffee. I can overcome the lack of caffeine in one individual cup by consuming more than one cup. But you ever go to a restaurant and the coffee is just so good? You wonder what it is, and you try and get them to tell you what it is, and they won't tell you, and they won't tell you, and they won't tell you, and finally they get tired of you asking and tell you something. Might not be the truth, but they tell you something. It turns out that JFG Coffee from Knoxville makes a restaurant blend
Yeah.
that is very hard to get hold of if you're not a restaurant.
What's that coffee company? Dadgummit. Royal Crown.
Okay.
As in the ones that make the cola?
I don't think the coffee company has anything to do with the soda pop company.
They might have branched out. You never can tell.
This is true. But if you can get a hold of that JFG restaurant blend, that is some good stuff for the taste, which is what I'm after. I mean, seriously, I drink enough coffee to where it wouldn't matter what brand it was, what blend it was. I'm going to get awake. But seriously, when you can get a coffee that tastes that good, and the last time I found any, it was in a one of those stores that gets stuff from fire sales and estate sales and stuff like
Mhm.
that. They had like a dozen tins of the coffee about the size of a medium-sized Sterno can. I got one just to make sure that it's what it was. Oh yes, yeah, there you go.
Crown Coffee.
Crown Coffee. Okay.
Yeah. They're a coffee service that goes to businesses. They supply you the coffee maker, the little pots, the coffee, the filters, everything.
Well, once I found out how good that restaurant blend tasted, I went back to that salvage store and I got everything they had left. So for about 6 months, that was the only coffee that I was drinking. But I have never run into that particular container style again. Like I said, it looked like a little can of Sterno, and it was very tightly sealed so that the flavonoids did not evaporate once you opened it. You just put the lid on real quick and tamp it down, and it was good to go for however long. But knowing me, it didn't last very long individually. But collectively, I got a 6 month supply, and I just absolutely loved it. Um, Sneeze.
All right. All right. Just sent you a reply, Chris.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I tried. You know.
well, it happens.
Let's see.
Yeah, I've looked everywhere, and any of those that where you're talking about ships from is just
Mhm.
stupid expensive.
Yeah.
Now, John, send me that link to the restaurant blend, please, if you still have it.
It was the company that owns JFG in Louisiana and all these other companies is Riley Foods,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's. Let me see if I can find it again here.
Just
Oh,
PM it to
God.
me. That's all I ask.
Do what, Chris?
Oh, just something I saw. It's bad. It's funny, but it's bad.
Okay.
Stay
It's not
out of the
the
green
green
room.
Definitely not the green room.
We've been walking that tightrope line on Last Man Standing here for a couple of weeks. I don't know whether to rein it in or just take advantage of it, because people have been walking the tightrope.
Yeah, I'm guilty a little bit of that.
Hey,
Walking the tightrope. You mean they're uh, dancing across the edge of the razor blade?
pretty much, yeah. And so far nobody's gone off the sharp end unexpectedly, but it has been highly entertaining, and I'm very grateful. But I don't know how much longer we could get away with it.
Yeah, well.
Oh,
It'll be a little easier tonight with Rich under the weather.
Yeah.
oh, I can't wait to next Friday's green room. Especially hope Michaela's in there. I got a question to ask.
Oh boy, that'll be worth tuning in for.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kiri's got Buzz Aldrin got married on his 93rd birthday.
To his 63-year-old girlfriend, who's now
Cradle robber.
She's 63 and looks what, 40, 43?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of course, hell, he looks like he could be 83 or 73.
yeah.
I resemble that remark.
Oh,
Yeah, you're not that old.
posted
know,
up.
but still, I look older than I am.
You know, Dan, your
Was it-
hairdo actually reminds me a little bit of Derek Trucks.
Well,
Was
it's
Buzz
just
was
it's
was
just pulled
Buzz
back in a
Aldrin
ponytail right now because
Yeah.
I haven't been able to go to a place to get it cut.
was Buzz
Um,
Aldrin the guy that punched out that one conspiracy theorist?
Yes.
Yes.
Get out of my face.
Carrie, no. No. That is not going up on screen.
mm-hmm. I concur.
Oh, that's pretty damn good.
Depends on which of the 15 possible meanings that you apply to it.
Yeah.
Naturally,
I mean,
my
good as
mind
in
went
funny.
to a couple of the ones that are keeping Joe Dog from putting that on screen. Not the green room, not the green room, not the green room.
Yep.
Exactly. When you can snatch the pebble from my hand, grasshopper.
All right.
You feeling okay, Joe?
There's some gear shifts going.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm just, I'm past the point of, power shifting. Now I'm double clutching.
Well,
as long as you ain't split shifting the rear axle, you'll be all right. That makes some
the
noise.
hell?
see, I told y'all. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
I need to let John see that too. So
I don't imagine what would be keeping John from seeing it. You put
well, I didn't send it on the group thing. I sent it to y'all individually.
Oh,
I was trying to show a little bit of class and discretion.
You show that, and Rich may actually show up.
I ought to send it to him.
Eye bleach. No, I need brain bleach. I need to.
don't send him anything that his wife is going to get upset about now.
I just sent him what I sent y'all.
Oh, I don't know. Carl's still around. Probably not. But there's one of the girls that runs a canal boat video on YouTube that he would absolutely love. And that's about all I got to say on that matter.
I love all these commercials where it shows the guy, he's holding up the ring box to the girl. He's on his knee, and he opens it up, and there's an egg in it. And he goes, "Will you marry me?" He
There
went
you
to
go,
Kroger.
Josh.
He went to Kroger. Yeah. Oh.
It's funny. My former neighbor, he moved out, went closer to town, but he used to have a chicken coop, and he was a professional chef and used his own eggs. Because he says, they're better when they're fresh.
You killed our little innocent Carrie.
Oh,
He wasn't that innocent.
yeah, he wasn't that little either.
Yeah, we'll put that one up there.
Oh,
See,
you.
I was gonna make Joe jar pickled eggs. I can't come up with I can't come up with a mortgage for eggs.
Have you seen the one with Al Pacino from Scarface? Instead of all the cocaine, guns, and
Got
all
all
this,
the
he got all the
dozens of
carton
eggs stacked up on his desk.
and say hello to my little friends.
Say hello to my little friends. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's just.
You know, it's kind of funny. I haven't seen an egg shortage in any of the stores I go to.
I've seen them where they're almost sold out. They're not completely sold out, but they are
Mm-hmm.
very close.
Ingles is about average. I don't know. It's about half sold. About half sold out, but that's not unusual for Ingles.
I know the
Kroger-
Walmart. I know the Walmart in Hickson. They're going to be throwing eggs away.
Really?
Yeah,
Was
They're
it just
that
charging
high.
too much? Nobody wants to buy them, or what?
yeah. Remember the double pack of eggs that I bought for HallowCon?
Yeah.
They were like $2.60 for the two of them. It's $14 a pack a set now.
No, Tractor Supply.
I don't
sells
know. Hadn't
chickens.
looked, Kerry.
Yeah, trust me, I have considered chickens.
My little brother had several, almost a dozen,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently, not only are there bears, pigs, coyotes, wolves, and wild boar in the woods, there are also weasels.
Yep.
So he has been losing chickens left and right. So he had been giving the entire family flats of eggs, basically,
Mhm.
and now just barely got enough for his own family.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking of what John said. Tractor Supply sells
Right.
chickens. With my luck, I'd buy 5, and they'd all be damn roosters.
Probably so.
Rotisserie.
That's 5 Sunday dinners in a row.
Yeah.
Just walk out there at that big spit and go, I need some eggs, and walk back in the
Yeah,
house.
can you imagine how much cane
You
your
probably
dogs
get a
would
rooster
raise
to
with
lay an
the
egg
chickens?
after that.
What?
Can you imagine how much cane your dogs would raise with the chickens?
Oh, yeah. Well, we just teach them to leave the damn chickens alone.
Oh, but they'd still be having a fit every time they started
Mm.
crowing in the mornings.
Well, what I would do is I'd hit the neighbors all around. Do you need eggs?
Mm-hmm.
Get enough chickens to produce enough eggs for the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
That way, when it comes time, somebody complains, the
Mm-hmm.
neighbors, I'll say, okay, guys, this asshole down the street has complained about the chickens. What are y'all going to do about it?
Suddenly, the fire department is called.
Yeah.
Now, our neighbors across the street have a huge variety of birds. Not only chickens, but swans and geese and ducks. And at the right time of year, when the daylight is just at the right time when I go to work, I'll go out there, and they've got a rooster that sounds almost exactly like the theme music from Rodan, the Japanese flying monster movie. And I'm going, oh, the pterosaur is alive. Okay, I'm late. And then get in the car and go to work. But still, it's just one of those things where that cockadoodle doo makes some entirely different mental connection with me. I'm hearing an
Yes, you are,
orchestra.
Kiri. Yes, you are.
Hmm. Kiri, you've been on thin ice for 2.5 years. Uh,
I'll tell you what I'd really like to raise is ostrich.
Ostriches?
Then
Yeah,
you only get one
They
big egg.
produce really big eggs.
yeah. You get a dozen ostriches, there's enough eggs to last you a month right there.
Now, first off, have you considered how hard it is to actually survive harvesting ostrich eggs?
Hey, if you treat them right, they'll give them to you.
You,
Surprised what you can do with soccer ball.
Yeah.
now, with your luck, you get a cassowary instead of an ostrich. And that one is as close to a velociraptor as you can get.
Spur and everything.
Aren't
That's-
emus fairly close too?
That's a very large and dangerous bird right there. And they are bad tempered to boot.
They got body counts.
They got arrest records.
That's why you need Doug from Liberty Mutual handling them.
No, that's an emu.
Yeah, that's why I asked, aren't emus?
Well, they're related. I mean, all of them are somewhat related, but
Well,
No,
the thing about an ostrich egg,
Mm-hmm.
one egg will feed a family of 4 scrambled eggs and cheese real quick.
mhm.
Oh yeah. But they are huge birds. Don't they average
Well.
between 450 and 600 pounds?
I don't know.
Well, if it snows, Joe Dog can saddle one up and ride it to the grocery store.
But he can't buy eggs.
Wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. You got to get back to which joke we were talking about at the time, Nick.
We progressed since then.
Dang, now I gotta show him what got all this started.
Oh, you don't do Nick that way. I would rather Nick be here to see his reaction.
This is true.
Nick, just come on in, because Chris wants to send you something. But I want to see your reaction on camera.
Don't come in, Nick. Run while you can.
It's my fault they're on this conversation, Nick.
Yeah.
You thought you could get away with it, but no.
Okay, Chris, send it to him. Just send it to him. He says it'll have to be another time.
All right, I'll send it to him.
And we'll just wait for the reaction.
Oh, come on now.
Gee, you should have known better than that shit.
Where'd that link go?
Okay, Nick, it's sent.
Don't show it to the wife or kids.
Yep.
It was a pretty interesting movie, though. One of those trippy kind of David Lynch things.
Yeah.
And Emily Browning just really has a nice butt.
Yeah.
Now Nick's got to look. Okay, that's.
Well, it still hadn't shown him looking at it yet. But
He's probably scared too.
If he's smart. And one
It's
thing Nick
kind of
has
bad,
never
but it's
impressed
not
me as
that
is.
bad.
Oh.
And just so you know,
It's a meme.
and just so you
We
know,
seen
Nick,
it now.
Now, John, that does look like a classic Star Trek episode behind you.
I've suddenly
Yep,
developed
instead
a
of
headache.
tribbles, it's eggs.
No, Devil in the Dark. The Horda.
oh, is that the silicon rock monster?
Yeah,
Okay.
no kill eye. Yep.
Wow. There is no response from Nick.
Why is that picture? You know that
I
brick
think I
thing
may have
he's got
broke
as
him.
his
I'm sorry,
background?
Nick.
Yeah. Why do I picture that thing coming down and him rolling around the floor?
He's like, okay.
Oh dear.
The question is, what
Uh-oh.
collection of
Uh-oh.
cocaine is it?
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Do we
no,
have a
no.
Lewis sighting?
No, that was a banner. I'm sorry.
Do we have a Lewis? I don't see a Lewis. I mean, that's. Would you grab our banner?
That hung Dan up.
I'm just trying to decide which one that Chris is laughing about, because,
Oh,
okay.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
Last I read, Lewis was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Last day of their trip, whenever they were in a port in Mexico,
Yeah.
and they were eating authentic Mexican food. So he may be busy at the moment.
Probably.
Um,
I'm quite sure the balcony door's open.
and the air conditioner is at full blast, and
I wonder if that ship can run on methane, which may explain the port of call.
Sorry, Nick. It just struck me as funny.
Yeah, they said they were legally obligated to stop in Mexico, which doesn't make sense.
It does. That makes it an international cruise.
Yep.
And not a. Apparently, there's something about domestic ships not being that big or something like that. I can't. It's some old congressional law that has to do with rum running and stuff like that. So.
So they had to make a tequila stop, in other words.
Basically, yes.
Mm.
Darn it, I can't remember. It's what, like the Green Act or the Macon Act, or it's named after some jackass that wanted to make money off of everybody, like most politicians. And
Andrew Jackson.
But it basically, what was that one lumber or fishing company? I think it was
Bubba Gump?
No, it was a Canadian fishing company, but they weren't allowed to bring fish into the United States because then they'd have to pay exorbitant income tax or import taxes.
Mm.
Well, there was this.
Oh no!
There was this.
All I can think of right now is the Gorton's fisherman.
They had this loophole in the law that said if the fish traveled by train, then it was not being imported into the country by ship.
Mm-hmm.
And they would tax the hell out of a ship bringing fish in. So they would take it to this port, load the fish onto a train car, mark it as being on a train car, and move the train car 15 feet
Mm-hmm.
on about 100 feet of track, and then unload it. So technically, it traveled part of its journey by train and was therefore exempt from the import tax.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's
one of those
that's
old.
tricky. That's
Yes.
tricky.
And they finally, apparently, they got caught at it, and the United States banned it. And that's where this act about anything coming into that something to do with foreign ports. I can't tell you.
Mhm.
All right. I got to go down the hall. Be right back.
Lasted a good long while though.
Yeah.
You made it 3/4 of the way through the show.
Hey, that's
It's pretty
doing
good.
something.
Pretty good for somebody on pain meds.
Oh man.
Oh Lord, I wish my nose would quit running.
I saw some.
Well-
I saw something interesting today, and one of those military things I didn't realize until it got published in the news. They moved 300,000 artillery shells that the United States had stockpiled in Israel to Ukraine. I didn't realize we had those kind of stockpiles in Israel.
Well, we did.
I mean, I know they
That
use the
when
same kind
we
of
were
howitzers.
more.
You know, they basically buy our howitzers. So makes sense, but I didn't know the U.S. had it stockpiled there. I was wondering if it was kind of like a Lend-Lease thing. We're loaning them the artillery shells indefinitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case. Sort of an insurance program.
'Cause
You
I
let
don't think
you
we
let your opponents know that you've got that many there.
I know we have like military infrastructure in Israel for repairing things like planes, tanks, artillery, that sort of thing. And I used to see these ads in Army Times all the time for tank turret mechanics or tank hull mechanics or artillery turret mechanics and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That they were paying them to go down to Saudi Arabia and Israel and work at the depots down there after they got out of the military. So,
Yeah, I was just thinking today, if my mom had let me follow my childhood ambition
you're too
my
tall
high
to be an
school
astronaut.
from my high school graduation, I would probably have my own garage now repairing cars because what I wanted to do was go into the Air Force and become an airplane mechanic. Because
Butchered
I've
that
got a
word.
definite talent for turning wrenches. And that's WRNC. The R is very important. Mustn't leave that out.
That's better.
There's a
But,
place. There was a place down south of Chickamauga that used to sell. I think they're still there. I'm not sure, but they used to sell off-road equipment for Jeeps and trucks, do lift, all sorts of off-roading type stuff.
yeah.
I was in there one day, and a guy goes in, and he was looking around and goes, "Y'all sell winches?" They go, "No, we're not that kind of business." And the kid just looked at him like, "What?" And there's a whole rack of worn winches on display.
Mhm.
Oh.
Apparently, they had a little captain in him.
No, you got to go to downtown Atlanta for that stuff.
Yeah.
Ah,
Or Savannah.
Willow
Oh,
Street. You don't have to travel that far.
just to let John and Chris know, Donna took her hair down today.
Okay.
I am now married to Albert Einstein's daughter.
Oh, for those of you who don't know, she had cornrows
Yep.
for the convention. I guess
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, who in the world talked her into that?
Will she lose a bet?
She hunted somebody down to do it.
Yep, she lost a bet.
nobody talks Joe Dog's Donna into doing anything. She decides on her own, and you stand well back, go off. I have learned this from observation.
Yeah, but she can be talked into stuff, but you have to be very careful about it.
exactly the sort of difference that I was trying to make in my pronunciation there, Nick.
And Carrie saying, "What was the bet?" There was no bet. It was, I'm going over to my adopted mom's house. Just drop me off. I'll call you when I'm ready to come home. And that's the way I found her.
What?
I was trying to see if that was the dog in the hallway staring at us.
Um,
Oh, that's a shoe.
Oh, okay.
Let me shut the door. Good
You don't
grief.
have to shut the door. I just thought it was a dog. Because your dogs look like that.
his dogs look like an old shoe.
Black and gray and roly poly. Yeah, pretty much.
It slipped.
I have this problem where I won't eat all day.
Just one?
Yeah, but this my current problem.
Oh.
Where I won't eat all day.
Mm.
And then when I finally say I gotta eat something, I'll go eat something. And it's like opening the floodgate.
Uh-huh.
And just hungry for the rest of the evening.
Good night, Nick.
Thanks for stopping by, Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Catch you next time.
Good luck with the insomnia.
You know, this show is usually a pretty good cure for insomnia.
Yeah, it is. Ask Dan.
Well, the sinus meds are definitely a good cure for insomnia, but
Benadryl. Oh, I kid you not. Benadryl will knock you out in a heartbeat.
oh yeah,
Usually-
yeah.
It usually.
So will these things.
What?
Tylenol PM.
Oh.
Kiri's like, I end up falling
Thank you
asleep
for
when
the
Dan's show comes on.
testimony there, Kiri. That's a very high recommendation.
Dan is changing his theme music. Lullaby.
We've still got 2 people on YouTube, or is that one of you, or is that you guys?
I'm on YouTube.
Yeah.
Donna might be.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to shut off YouTube here and let's see if it goes down. It usually takes about a minute for this to happen.
Yeah.
It's at 4 now. I just turned off YouTube. Keeps bouncing about. Oh.
Excuse me.
We have ghosts. Then again, there is a couple over in England that run one of the canal boats that has subscribed to Last Man Standing.
Really?
They may have started watching Stupid O'Clock as well.
Uh-oh. So no canal boat for you then.
No, it's not like I was going to be trying to buy theirs. I could get a canal boat anytime.
Really?
Yeah, but you know, it's the difficulty of doing away with 90% of everything I own and moving to England at the same time, which is a 1-2 punch combination I'm not willing to undergo. I mean, that'd be like trying to prize fight Muhammad Ali.
Oh, if you move to England, just remember you still got to pay American taxes.
I'm going to have to pay American taxes after I'm dead.
And to get out of paying American taxes, you have to renounce your citizenship.
No,
But-
No,
I'd
But-
want
I don't think you're right
dual
on that, Joe.
citizenship.
I don't think expats have to pay taxes while they're working outside the United States.
No, yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
And to renounce your citizenship, it's $2,500 to apply. and then they could still decide to accept or deny it.
Not interested in renouncing my citizenship. I wouldn't mind adding a second one, or a third, or a fourth, but I'm not interested in no longer being an American citizen.
Well, here's the downfall of all that. Say mom and dad were living in Japan when you were born, and automatically you're an American citizen, right?
Mm-hmm. And automatically you're a Japanese citizen as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
If their laws are written that way.
Yeah.
I think
When you
most
turn 18, you've
Yeah.
got to start paying taxes and never step foot in the United States. That's some bullshit.
Uh,
they're gonna get their tax revenue.
yeah.
Remember, Al Capone didn't lose out till the IRS went after him.
No. He beat every criminal charge against him, but not
Except
tax
evading
inversion.
tax. Yeah, tax evasion.
Well, he called it tax inversion, but
Yeah.
and with Lindsay used to have triple citizenship until Hugo Chavez came along,
Mm-hmm.
but she still has dual citizenship, UK and US. So technically, she could claim her pension from England in about 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that she's going to attempt it, but technically, I do believe that is legal.
Yes, you just have to pay American taxes on it.
Yeah. Because they're gonna
would
get
not
their money.
probably would not be that extreme in amount to pay. Because when we went back there for a visit, she had to have a tooth pulled, and National Health still covered it. She just walked in, got the tooth pulled, walked out. We didn't know anything. National Health paid for it. That's the way that works over there. If you've been in the system long enough to where everything's built up, just like Social Security over here, it's automatic. You get it. No problem.
Oh, wait a minute. I know where I was off. You do not have to file a tax return while you are working outside the country. It rolls over.
Okay.
When
you come back.
But when you come back, yeah. Pay everything.
Yeah. So every Liberty Con, I'd have to start paying taxes on all the money I made in between the conventions, right? Yeah, that doesn't matter because
you get
seriously,
you get it extended automatically because you're out of the country.
It doesn't matter because I believe me, having to take a 12-hour airplane flight to come back for HallowCon or LibertyCon and any other conventions that we start going to after I retire, that would be a complete pain in the butt. Plus, the dog and the cats would not be able to go with us. Plus, on a boat, I'd never be able to have all my books because, one, there's no room. Two, even if I tried, they would get wet.
Yep.
From condensation. I am so glad you waited until I was through with that sentence.
I was, it was painful, but I did it.
Yeah.
Good grief.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blow my nose with the microphone on.
I'm looking at what you posted from Tractor Supply. Dan, what would you say a leghorn chicken would be? How much do you think it would cost?
About $1.50 a pound at the store. Why? What?
No, a live chick.
Um, I absolutely have no idea.
$33.
Their average
Whoa,
chick is
rooster.
going for $30.
Not the green room. Not the green room. Not the green room. It's only $20 for everybody else. Yes, I do listen to T-Bone Burnett. Sorry. Music reference, people. Music reference.
Yeah, the rooster is 33. The hen is 40.
And these are
Leghorn.
chicks, not
Leghorn chicks.
not
And
full-grown
a foghorn
chickens,
leghorn.
but the potential to live long enough to grow up to be a full-grown
Yeah.
chicken.
Wow.
Well, price per pound, that's worse. That's worse than some of the frozen turkeys you see in the grocery store.
I can remember when people like every Easter put down peeps, but nowadays they're looking a lot more economical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you leave them alone for 15 years, they're not going to grow up to be full-size chicken-size peeps. You're not going to get a whole jar of marshmallows out of
What are
that.
you thinking?
Apparently, I'm not thinking. Sinus medicine is not for the
Weak.
of Constitution. Yes. Come here. Go to trash can, little thing. Can't leave Kleenexes laying around for the dog to find. Otherwise, there will be shreds. And she is obviously teething because there are a lot of things that she's been finding to chew on that no sane animal would consider.
You gotta get her a Kong.
A what?
The Kongs, the pet toys made by Kong, the company's name.
Oh,
Kong.
yeah. I know what those are. Yes.
And they make them out of that whatever that nearly indestructible rubber is.
I'm thinking more like it'd be cheaper to buy a cage.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would personally think that was extraordinarily cruel. I don't know. I'm too soft-hearted sometimes, but
all right, we're gonna have to sign out. It's
that time.
It's
right.
that time. Thanks, everybody.
Last man.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Guys, it's time to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say